Hello everyone and welcome back to the Dominion server. It is now 2026 and to start things off I am here in basically the Christmas district in Spawn, and look at this magnificent tree behind me, by the way. Isn't it awesome? And I'm here because I just wanted to show you something before I started the main sort of builds of this video, and that is this giant Viking helmet. There's a better look from the bottom. Yeah, look at this. Now this is essentially a present. Around every Christmas, the server does a Secret Santa event, and we all gather by this tree and place all our presents. And as you can see, it's late January now, but there's still quite a few presents here, and so's mine actually. So this ginormous Viking helmet was a gift from none other than the server owner, Wilvin. It's absolutely magnificent, and if I can fly up to the top and have a look inside, because this helmet is, well, basically just like the packaging. It's a statue in its own right, which I do want to move somewhere on my base. But inside, if we go through the top, look at this. And look at this, we've got 4 heavy cores down here. We've got absolutely loads of tuff. So the actual structure itself is made from stone and tuff. And we have shulkers and shulkers of tuff blocks, which is brilliant because tuff is one of my favorite blocks. And now you've got all these variants as well with some of the latest updates. It just makes, using them much better. And as well as that, we have, look at these are essentially transparent map arts of some Viking runes. And Wilvin basically went and designed all of these to try and fit onto the sort of pixel scale, and these are absolutely brilliant. And it utilizes the transparent map arts, which I've sort of explained in a few previous videos, and it's absolutely, I was not expecting this as a present. And I would definitely be using these runes throughout my base as some kind of extra detailing. They just look really awesome. And last but not least, how have I done that? Alright, next challenge, getting out here. Last but not least, on the top of the Viking helmet, we have on either side a block of netherite, which again, wow. I mean, I basically don't have any netherite apart from the armor I'm wearing, and you'll notice my helmet is no longer netherite because I had a slight incident where I lost it. So yeah, basically I want to say a big thank you to Wilvin for this absolutely wonderful gift, and I will be sorting it out soon. In the meantime, I will try and find my way back to Spawn, the main part of Spawn in the shopping district. Oh, look at this dragon here. Isn't that awesome? This is the Halloween district, by the way. Got some spooky builds in it. Oh, there's a portal here. I might as well use this one. So I have a few sort of ideas planned for my base because I have not really done much in the past 6 months. I don't want my base to be a work in progress forever. I want to actually finish it. So I've got some big plans for it, some big extensions, trying to get some of the big sections of cliffs actually finished now. So I will meet you back at my base. So here we are back at my base, and I'm gonna be honest, not a lot has changed at all, but I do want to focus on this part of the cliff, try and actually get that done, and maybe stick a building in there. I was thinking something like a docking station for the Happy Ghast would be quite cool. In the last couple of weeks, the server has been updated to the Mounts of Mayhem update, which means we now have spears and the Nautilus mob. And actually, I've seen a couple just swimming out here. So I'm sort of tempted just to see if we can actually tame one of them. I've seen at least a couple, so they shouldn't be too hard to find. But knowing my luck. But I think you need pufferfish to tame them, and then a saddle to actually be able to ride them. But it's like a good form of underwater travel. Yeah, here's one. So if I give you some pufferfish, please eat the pufferfish and be tamed. Wait, is that tamed yet? Oh yeah, it's been tamed. I've fed it too much pufferfish. So if I get a saddle, come back here. And then, whoa. Okay, so can I go forwards? Ooh. Oh, this is pretty cool. It's not actually much. Oh, wow, what was that? I was about to say it's not actually that much faster than swimming, but then you've got a little boost, don't you? Now, if I just attach a fence post down here, is this going to work? Oh, look at that. I wasn't sure whether that was going to work. That means he's not going to wander off, and I'm going to struggle to find him and my saddle. Excellent. Lovely. Right. I guess I can get back to doing some base improvements and landscaping. Unfortunately, with this area being developed, it does mean we're going to have to move this pig, which has been here since essentially the dawn of time. But rather than just killing said pig, I think it would be good if he comes with me. We can just place him on a lead and a fence post and keep him here temporarily. It would just be a shame because this pig has actually been on that cliff by himself for a number of years now, just not moving, just stuck on that one block. So yeah. Right, so without further ado, I think it's time if we start to clear some of this cliff away and make room for some new developments. Well, here it is. This is our finished-ish cliff area. And look at this. This is like a big peak, almost like a well, it's like a finger basically sticking out the ground. But I think it looks pretty cool. What I'm gonna do is detail this whole area with vegetation and a few different stone types. But what I want to do first is focus on the little area down here, because what we have is this little space here where I want to put a building, which as I said earlier, I want to put sort of a house where my happy ghast can actually go inside, almost like a little stable kind of thing. I think that'll look pretty cool, and I want it to be in sort of a similar style to my other house over there. So using dark oak highlights and then spruce and then the warped wood for the actual roof. But I think if I can get this in this little area here, it's not a huge amount of space, but I think I can make it work if I have it overhang a little bit. Overhanging this cliff and then having some kind of ladder or something coming down connecting to this path here. I think that would look pretty cool, and it would certainly fit in with the themes I have for this island. Okay, so this is the extremely basic footprint of the building, and then this trapdoor here will hopefully lead down to a ladder which will go down to the path below, and then I've got this slight overhang here, so you can sort of, well, it overhangs the path and you can sort of see out and get quite a nice view over the base. And this here is going to be the main entrance, so the happy ghast will be able to fly in here, and this will be where it sort of lives essentially, in this space here. And then I'll put a wall up here, a wall up the back, and then I think I'll have to mine a bit of the cliff back here. But yeah, I think this would be big enough for the ghast, because it's 1 2 3 4 5. I've done a little bit of testing in terms of how big of a building you need to get, and it needs to be at least 5 blocks wide to be able to get the ghast inside, otherwise it just won't go in. Well, yeah, I have run out of dark oak wood. I hardly had any in stock in my base. Rather than going shopping, there is this dark oak forest which isn't too far away, so I think I'll just go and, yeah, do a bit of tree felling. Okay, so this is the sort of basic frame I've got so far, and oh dear, you can sort of get an outline of the actual size of the building better now. We've got a ladder in place, we've got the overhanging platform, and it has to be quite a tall building. I've got this little spruce arch here which sort of designates the top of the sort of entrance where the happy ghast can go into. And this entrance here has to be 5 wide and at least 5 blocks tall as well. Otherwise the ghast will not be able to fit. So I've done it slightly higher than 5 just to leave some headspace for me as well. If I'm riding on top of the ghast, I don't want to suffocate. I am thinking for the ground floor area, so this space down here, actually having spruce. So let me see, something like, I want to add a bit of detail, so it will be a mixture of some planks, some trapdoors, and then just actual spruce logs which have been stripped like so. I think will work quite nicely. And then the trapdoors give a bit of depth, and it also follows the theme which I have done for my other house, which follows with dark oak trim and then spruce for the ground floor and oak, normal oak for the second floor. Gives a bit of contrast to colour as well. Now, and the other thing I want to try and use is these new shelves, because they look really nice as a trim. Look at that. Rather than trapdoors, it's a different sort of texture, and it does look quite good. So I'm going to try and decorate the outside of the beams with the actual shelves, and it adds a bit more depth as well. And for this area here, rather than just going for spruce, what I was thinking was, because there is a good opportunity for a viewpoint, actually putting some windows in. If I put some like tall, thin windows in, and then I was thinking mud, sort of mud brick wall, because it's a similar sort of brown colour, but at the same time it adds a bit of something different rather than just being wood. That along with the glass, you know, otherwise it's just a complete wooden building, and that just adds a little bit of stone or a bit of something different. And yeah, I think that works. But I can only really do that where there's, you know, something to look at. I can't really put windows in here because there's just cliffs in the way. So what I'm thinking again is just to go for more spruce bits and bobs around here. Right, so the next big thing really is sort of getting the outline for the roof done. I mean, we've basically got the 3 walls here, and then obviously the big opening for the gas to come in. And I want the roof to be in a similar style to the house over there. So it's proper kind of steep triangular roof using dark oak for the sort of outline. So I'm going to have to sort of do a bit of experimenting, I think. But I do think a sharp, really sharp, steep roof would look really cool here. Okay, so I've got a roof frame in now, and I've got it slightly sloping down because I think that looks a bit more interesting than just having it flat on the top. But the next job is to get some of the warped planks and to fill in the actual roof itself, and hopefully this should look pretty cool. So I should just be able to fill all this in. I've also put a little window this side just to let a little bit more light in on the top section. Plus it makes the roof look a bit different as well, which always helps. And I've already placed this wrong. What am I doing? Got to have stairs here, not actual just planks. Like so. we have basically a finished building. The roof is now in place. I'm going to do a little bit on the inside just to tidy it up, I think. Maybe put a chandelier or some sort of lighting in there. And the outside, I've done a fair amount of detailing, put in random fences here and there, blackstone buttons for the end of the logs which stick out. Looks pretty cool. Looks like a sort of bolt or something like that. I put a few lanterns here and there. I've got some lanterns hanging down here as well with some chains. I have noticed this tree is now, I think that's too close. So I do think I'm going to have to take this tree down and move it somewhere, just because it clashes a bit too much with the build. There's only really one thing left, because we've got our little platform here to actually mount and dismount the Happy Ghast. I just need a way up there, and I don't really want to put any steps inside the building itself because that's going to take up this space. So there's this little really narrow gap here, and I was thinking if I just have a simple staircase. I'll have to sort this cliff out at some point, but I'll leave that for another episode. Oh. Yeah, so I just have a staircase here. Leads up, and then just some spruce. And basically I can have a door which leads in. Like that. Or does that look weird? Maybe I'll have it this side. Yeah, that looks a bit better. So that is... Yeah, this cliff definitely needs a bit of work. And it's very, very tight space in here. But it does work. It just means I have to sacrifice some of the detailing on this side. Otherwise I'm not going to be able to walk up here. But nobody's really going to see that anyway because of the cliff there. This is the side where the detail needs to be because that's overlooking the main part, well, overlooking the main island basically. I was a slight fool and forgot I had these banners instead of just the sort of plain ones. These are the ones I used on the other building. Now for the moment of truth. And it, by the way, it's just been nothing but raining at the moment, which is just what it's like in real life, to be honest. The last 2 weeks have been nothing but rain. Okay, Sky, let's take this away. Do forget they are quite slow. I mean, as I said in a previous video, they're good for building, but in terms of actual transportation, I think you'll be here a while if you were traveling anywhere. Here we go. So hopefully, oh, I have to stay quite high up if I open these gates. Yeah, it works. Reverse you in there. Then I can shut these gates. Whether they'll help stop Sky escaping, I don't know. Let's hope so. But yeah, that actually works. I've got this little platform up here with trapdoors in case I wanted to put any barrels or anything up here for storage. And then we've got our door here and our little dodgy alleyway and our exit, and there we go. And Sky doesn't seem to be escaping, so that's a good sign. And that is one completed Happy Ghast docking station with the same sort of Viking theme as my other house. Lovely. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, this is sort of the best I could come up with, which was literally just lowering the line of gates one block more. But at least now Sky cannot escape when the gates are shut. Now the question is, if I open the gates up, can we actually leave? Yes, we can. Right, problem solved. That's actually lower than I initially expected. Because I was worried about actually suffocating if I had too low a section of blocks here. But that's not actually an issue. Okay, now I can say the docking station is done. Let me let me just redo that. So we can finally say that the docking station is now finished and there will be no escapes from Sky. So with that, I think I'll actually end the video there, because there is some detailing to do. I do want to add some different types of stone and some plants and stuff to this area here. Oops. But I don't want to do that yet because I'm still working on this cliff and I may sort of move things around a little bit. Plus I want to get some kind of footpath coming down here to connect up to the graveyard here. I don't want this to be sort of accessible by elytra alone. I want there to be an actual footpath. But in the meantime, if you enjoyed this video, please consider liking or even subscribing to this channel for more Minecraft related content, including on the Dominion server. And until next time, where hopefully I will, as I always say and never do, actually make a bit more progress on this part of the island. Until then, have a good day.